Viewers, be forewarned, be prepared. A massive storm is headed our way, and it is going to blow once again off the streets of this country, especially in the north, viewers. You might remember, you might recall the anti-CAA agitation, the occupation of Shahin Bagh, the rioting in 2020, not just in the Union capital when a foreign dignitary was visiting, but across North India, in most of the cities. You will remember, viewers, in the midst of COVID, the chaos. You will remember the lockdowns, economic lockdowns. You will remember the tension that gripped this country, a civil war-like situation. Well, viewers, that situation is upon us again. And I will show you proof of that by pointing you to the center of your screens. A massive nationwide stir has been launched against the proposed WAQF amendment bill to be introduced on April 1st. That's right, viewers. Next week, right after Eid celebrations, the government will introduce the long debated, the long discussed WAQF amendment bill. Now, this debate, viewers, is not going to go into the fine print of the WAQF bill. We are not going to look at whether it is the best for the country or the worst for the country, or whether it should be there or shouldn't be there. That has all been settled because we have had the widest consultation on the letter and spirit of this legislation. This is not like the 3 farm laws. So don't let people come out and say, oh, this matter hasn't been discussed, the stakeholders haven't been taken into confidence, this, that, the other. Viewers, it's all been done. And it's been done over a period of months. It has been most transparent. All the stakeholders have been invited. Each one of them, whether they have been supporters or dissenters, their views have been noted with consideration. And after that, the architecture of this bill has been put together. But viewers, so craven is politics in our country. So opportunities it has become that today, viewers, mainstream political parties are willing to put Sharia over the will of the people as expressed through the Sansad. Viewers, the protest that you are seeing in the middle of your screens is being led by the All India Muslim Personal Law Board, or the AIMPLB. But shockingly, this stir has got a helping hand from mainstream political parties like the Congress and the Rashtriya Janata Dal. In fact, viewers, you would think they are the ones who are leading this stir. From the visuals that I am showing you, their leaders of these political parties have joined hands with the AIMPLB to call upon Muslims to resist the bill, even if it means plunging the country into a civil war. Listen, viewers, to what some of these opposition politicians are saying, and these are not your run-of-the-mill junior cadre of any political party. They sit at the apex, viewers, at the apex of our political system. Listen in, viewers, listen in.
अगर एक होकर के हम लोग लड़े तो इंशाअल्लाह हम लोगों की जीत तय है।
ये तलवार उठी है भारत के हिंदू और मुस्लिम सिख ईसाई के समरसता वाले माहौल पर भी। अगर ये काला कानून पास हो गया तो पूरे मुल्क में खाना जंगी होगी। और वक्फ की जो ये जायदाद है, प्रॉपर्टी है, किसी और की नहीं है, मुसलमानों के पूर्वजों की ये संपत्ति है। और उस पर भी अगर मोदी जी डाका डालना चाहते हैं, इसका मतलब ये है कि हमें जीने भी नहीं देना चाहते हैं वो इज्जत से, और मरने के बाद हमें कब्रिस्तानों में दफन होने भी नहीं देना चाहते हैं।
Viewers, it's not just the inflammatory nature or the fear-mongering that accompanies the remarks that have been passed by these leaders. It is also the fact that these parties like the Congress, RJD and AIMM that profess to be secular, their leaders roam around with the constitution in their pockets or wave them at everyone. They swear by the constitution, they say. These leaders have joined hands with a rank communal outfit, the All India Muslim Personal Law Board. It's a closed society of sectarian patriarchs, viewers, sworn to prioritizing religious law over constitutional values. The AIMPLB defends medieval practices that reduce the agency of women, like polygamy. Can you believe it? Triple talaq, nikah halala. I mean, underage marriage. These are the things that the AIMPLB stands for. It also believes it can police how Muslim women must present themselves to the world, urging them to wear a hijab and dress modestly and so on and so forth. Worse, the AIMPLB supports the criminalization of homosexuality and any attempt at breaking away from its strict interpretation of Sunni-centric Islam. Thus, it sidelines as heretics, Ahmadiyas, and progressive Muslims. Viewers, this chaperoning of sectarian entities like the AIMPLB by self-professed secular parties like the Congress, like Rahul Gandhi, like the RJD and its leaders, the Yadavs, or even Asaduddin Owaisi, is dangerous and divisive, prompting some big questions. Are parties like the Congress and RJD mainstreaming groups that put the Sharia above Sansad? Another big question, from aligning with the STF in Bengal, SDPI in southern states, and AIMPLB now, has the India bloc not brought religion into politics? Can the Congress and RJD distance themselves from the AIMPLB's regressive views on women's rights? Why is the so-called secular liberal ecosystem silent when the India bloc has publicly joined hands with a sectarian and communal organization? Imagine, we just flip the coin. The BJP standing there with some Luddites from the Hindu fringes and supporting some obscurantist cause. There would have been hell to pay, viewers, from the Washington Post to the New York Times to all our great platforms for socio-liberalism. All have been penning edits about how secularism is dead in this country, but not a squeak from them, viewers, not a squeak. I want to open this up. Some fundamental questions must go out tonight. Anwar Pasha is here with us. We also have Vishnu Shankar Jain, who will be joining us. But I want to begin with you, Mr. Anwar Pasha. You're a spokesperson of the RJD. Do you support, Mr. Anwar Pasha, polygamy, triple talaq, nikah halala, underage marriage? What are you doing with the AIMPLB? Why are you giving them a platform?
Mr. Rahul, I think you are trying to build a narrative that has no basis at all.
No basis.
Nobody follows halala. Nobody follows this triple talaq in one go. There is provision of triple talaq, but with certain, time frame. One has to pronounce first, some 2-3 months after that. If there is the reconciliation, then they have to again pronounce it if there is no, compromise between the husband and wife. These are the issues. I think don't bring these issues in discussion. The main issue today is the WAQF bill, the WAQF amendment bill. And the government is trying to take away the lands of Muslims, which are donated by Muslims, for the welfare, for the mosque, for the madrasas, for the graveyard, and for hospitals and other welfare schemes. So government is trying to take away whatever is there.
Mr. Pasha.
The Muslims. The
Mr.
Muslims
Pasha.
are the most,
Mr.
Muslims
Pasha.
are the most poorest section of the society.
Can I ask you
a
follow-up question?
The government is trying
you
to
said
take
I'm
it
being,
away.
no,
That's
you
why
are
there
saying
is
that I'm
protest.
building a
And
baseless
protest
narrative.
Is our right.
I understand.
Protest is our
I'm
right.
not denying that. Please go out and protest on your own steam. Why are you joining in with AIMPLB? I'm asking you, Mr. Pasha, you've accused me of building a false narrative. Let me ask you. Let me ask you.
Whosoever.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you. Do you support the decision by the Supreme Court to decriminalize homosexuality? Yes or no?
Yeah, I support it.
You support it.
I support it.
Point number 2. Do you support polygamy under Indian law?
You just give the data. What is the data?
I'm asking you, do you don't talk about the data with me. Even one case of polygamy is too many. I'm asking you, Mr. Anwar Pasha, do you support polygamy?
More than the Muslims.
Do you support polygamy? Yes. Do you support it? Do you support polygamy? I'm asking you, do you support polygamy? Did you vote alongside the bill that outlawed triple talaq, yes or no? Did the RJD?
But I do not support the law which says that the Muslims should not have the right to give talaq. The right is there.
Sir, I'm asking you, did you vote alongside the triple talaq amendment? Yes or no? Did the RJD viewers? It did not support. It did not support. Let me bring you out. No, hang on. 1 second.
You don't understand.
Do you now? Second question.
3 times talaq pronounced in one breath.
Sir, I'm giving you a lot of time on this show.
Do not support that.
I'm giving you a lot of time on this show.
Pronounced in one breath.
I am giving you a lot of time on this show. I'm giving you a lot of time on this show. Then why did the RJD not support? Why did the RJD not support the amendment that was brought to make triple talaq illegal?
Yeah, the government whatever government has brought, it has no meaning at all.
Oh,
nobody pronounced triple talaq.
Right. Okay, so Mr. Pasha, let me ask you a question. Does the AIMPLB,
true Muslim pronounces the triple talaq at all?
1 second, Mr. Pasha.
Tell me something. Triple talaq as per the Sharia law.
Tell me something.
Not in one
Sir, I don't want your lecture on Sharia law. I'm not making this about religious. I'm asking you a simple question.
In one breathing.
Mr. Pasha, look, you can scream over me, you can shout over me, you can choose to answer my question or you can block my question, but I'm asking you, sir, I'm not wanting to get into a war of words with you. Sir, I am not getting into a word.
Constitution mein hai, Indian law mein hai. Indian law gives the right to talaq, right to divorce to the citizen of the country, husband and wife. Both have
today
the right
the RJD national spokesperson is proving the point I was making.
By the Indian law.
Proving the point I am making. He's actually helping my cause. He's exposing himself on national TV. I asked him 3 questions. Did you support this bill on triple talaq? Did the RJD? He said it doesn't matter because it's a non-issue.
Yeah, it's a non-issue.
It's a non-issue.
It is not practiced.
Did he support? Does he support the fact?
By the Muslims.
1 second. Does he support? Let me finish, sir. Please let me finish. You can railroad me. You can step over me. You can call me names, but I will not stop asking the questions.
You have the right to do all this.
Then let me ask you, sir. Does the AIMPLB defend polygamy? Yes or no?
What is the issue today?
I'm asking you, does it? Yes or no?
What is the issue today?
I'll tell you what the issue is. Do you answer my question?
All India Muslim Personal Board is issue?
Viewers, 1 minute.
Or the
it
issue
is an issue.
Waqf
It is the biggest
amendment
issue.
bill.
I'll tell you why it's the biggest issue. You're asking me, I'll tell you. Because viewers, in this country we swear, in this country we swear by constitutionality. Mr. Pasha, please, I don't want to bandy words with you. I don't want to band words with you. They have every right, of course they have every right, but you can choose. Okay, Mr. Pasha, okay, I'm going to lower your fade. I'm counting to 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, viewers, look. There are organizations like the Karni Sena and so forth. They have a right to protest in this country. But viewers, political parties also have a right to apply their minds to say whether they actually want to imbue themselves, join those protests. There are hundreds of kooky organizations.
If there is attack
I'm not talking to you, Mr. Pasha, lowest fader. 1, 2, 3, down. That's it. I'm sorry. Now, viewers, a lot of people in this country have the democratic right to free speech. You have had some cranks on both sides of the Hindu and Muslim fence that say obnoxious things. Should political parties go and patronize them? No, viewers, they should not. You have had hate preachers in this country. Should political parties give them a platform? In fact, in this country, they have. The Congress has. The Congress ecosystem does. The RJD does, viewers. And today, this is a problem. Today, we have absolute obscurantism, which is now being given political support. This is a slippery slope, viewers, because you're bringing in religiosity into politics. The same thing you accuse the BJP, etc., of doing. I want to open this up further. I want to bring in Kamruji. Kamruji, I want to ask you a simple question. Should the Congress be sharing a stage with the AIMPLB? Very simply this, yes or no?
Absolutely correct in sharing.
Okay.
Because we are a responsible opposition party.
Okay, I'll leave it at this, viewers. I'll leave it at this. This is the question. This is the question. This is the question. It's a straight. One second. I'll come back to you on the larger issues, Mr. Kamru Chaudhary. Let's first deal with the problem that Mr. Anwar Pasha says. Why do I have a problem with the AIMPLB? Tomorrow, viewers, a man who was pulled up for making a hate speech, Zakir Naik, will peddle his wares in some quarter of this country. And you know what, viewers? They will say that we have a right. Viewers, I'll tell you, I'm not talking through the top of my hat. There was an individual that belonged to the Hamas, a top leader of the Hamas. That individual was given a platform here in this very country. And people said, what's the problem? This is a democracy. There are people in this country who go taking out the janaza of Nasrallah and company, viewers, Islamist terrorists. And there are people in this country that give a wide berth to the AIMPLB that wants to take us back to a regressive time, that wants to, viewers, militate against the agency of women in this country. Now, Mr. Poonawala, I have to ask you a question. These people say these are non-issues. They have very much a right to stand in support of the AIMPLB. What's your problem?
Rahul,
This is a democracy.
I am surprised that you are outraging at the fact that they are endorsing or legitimizing AIMPLB when they have done far worse. By the way, Lalu Prasad Yadav is on record to say that the ban on Simi was wrong when the Supreme Court placed a ban. You have Lalu Prasad Yadav on record saying that SDPI, PFI in particular when it was banned, should not have been banned. They are on record to go and even get Osama bin Laden's lookalike to campaign for them in an election. The Congress party has alliance partners with IUML, with the ISF. They are alliance partners with the SDPI in Karnataka. They have withdrawn cases on PFI activists. So they've done a lot worse. One second, please, I will not interrupt you. Mr. Pasha, you have to realize that we are in a studio, not in Shahin Bagh. We are not in Shahin Bagh that you can scream over me. You cannot scream over me. No, this is not the way.
Mr. Pasha, I'll have to lower your fader. This is not right, please. I'll give you your opportunity. You can rebut Mr. Shahzad Poonawala anytime you want. But let him finish his point. He never interrupted you. He never interrupted me asking you questions. And he never interrupted you answering those questions.
The problem with Mr. Pasha and his ilk is that theologically or ideologically they are opposed to hearing another voice. Therefore, they can't stand another voice in counter. And that's the reason
let's
why
not make generalizations like this.
It is my way or the highway. If I'm wrong.
One second, Mr. Pasha, please do not interfere. Please, I will have to lower your fader. Please don't do this.
Let me just test it.
Okay.
Let me just test it. If I'm wrong, Mr. Pasha should say that Ramji is also Bhagwan for him. Will he say it? No, he won't say it. He's ideologically against it. No, that's not the point. The point is not Pasha. The point is what we are seeing here. One second, please don't interrupt, sir.
Rahul ji.
Please don't
Mr.
interrupt.
Pasha, please allow him to finish. Let him make his point. You can respond. I promise you I'll give you the time, but you cannot interrupt this debate like this. Please. Have some sense of reason.
Now,
I beg you, sir. I beg you.
What you are seeing, Rahul, is that after Rahul Gandhi declares that there is a fight against the Indian state, you have what is nothing short of a call which resembles Jinnah's call for direct action day. This is nothing but thuggery and threats masquerading as political activism. It is nothing but a toolkit of anarchy and propaganda in the hijab of protest. It is nothing where you say insurgency and civil war. Is this Mohabbat ki dukaan or is it Samvidhan? When you have somebody saying Hash dikha denge to the JPC chief, what is that? When you say Shahin Bagh bana denge, Shahin Bagh was declared illegal. These are people who say that they swear by the constitution. Now I have 2 or 3 questions. Point number 1 is that when they say that this WAQF is going to take away lands of people, including Muslims or the masjids, they had said the exact same thing as CAA, that nagrikta chin jayegi. Can Mr. Pasha tell me kitne logon ki nagrikta chini? Now, Mr. Pasha, please tell me that when you say hum ek honge inshallah, to hum jeetenge. When Prime Minister says hum ek hai to safe hai, for all Indians that is communal. But hum ek honge to inshallah hum jeetenge against a law which is being passed by Parliament is supposed to be secular. This is the double standards of this ecosystem. So I have been interrupted 15 times. There is no point speaking, Rahul, if this is the way the debate is going to be conducted.
2, 1, 2. Mr. Pasha, I'm lowering your fader now. I'm sorry I have to do this, but you have constantly taxed our patience. This is not right, sir. Yes, Mr.
The
Poonawalla.
problem is not the AIM-PLB. Everybody knows what the AIM-PLB stands for. The problem is that parties which swear by the constitution are actually providing them legitimacy and oxygen and mainstreaming their activities and their calls. That is the real problem. We are missing the woods for the trees. Today we should not be asking questions of what the AIM-PLB stands for, but we should be asking Mr. Kamruzaman Chaudhary that if he stands for Ambedkar's constitution, Ambedkar said even Gandhi's protest was grammar of anarchy, leave alone something like Shahin Bagh which they are calling for. Ambedkar never endorsed violence in protests. This was Jinnah's way, not Ambedkar's. And therefore, I think the more part of Kamru is operating and lesser part of Chaudhary is operating on Kamruzaman Chaudhary.
Okay, Mr. Kamru Chaudhary, respond
Yeah,
to
thank
Shahzad
you. I
Penawala
request,
by
Rahul-
giving groups like the AMPB, Oxygen, etc., you are creating a situation where religion is being brought in, where a particular constitutionality is being overwritten. This is what you're doing. This is not something to feel extremely proud of.
Yeah, Rahul, may I request half the time that
Please, go
Shahzad
ahead.
has got?
Yes,
Just
yes.
half the time.
Yeah, yeah.
You will get
before
half the
coming to
interruptions also, Kamru. Just for your
number
knowledge.
one.
Because I'm not a verbal stone pelter.
Yeah, Rahul can count.
I'm
the
not a verbal
interruptions,
stone
Shahzad
pelter,
bhai.
so you won't get the interruptions
Okay.
that you got
Finish
from
your point.
Pasha.
Finish
Okay,
your
go
point.
ahead.
Finish your
Okay,
point.
you are wasting the time of the debate.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Basically,
Go ahead,
Rahul,
Mr.
before
Chaudhary.
coming to the subjective matter, let me just place a strong objection to your headline. What does your headline say? Sharia over Sansad, above Sansad for India. And India means India Alliance, you have said. This falsely equates opposition to the anti-WAQF law with an attempt to override India's parliamentary system. In reality, protest against specific laws, whether about land rights or whether about taxation or religious institutions, are common to democracies. These protests appear to be about concern about how WAQF properties are managed, not about replacing parliamentary authority with Sharia laws. This is the main counter to this. Now, coming to the ultimate point, by turning this into a Muslims versus Parliament issue, the debate is being shifted away from legal merits of the WAQF bill, of the WAQF Act, into a religious polarization. And that's what the entire ecosystem strives to achieve. By citing some specific examples, my learned friend, Mr. Vishnu Jain is here, citing some specific examples from India where there are crores of land disputes in the country. Out of that, pick and choose some WAQF land disputes and generalize that with the whole of the institution of the WAQF, trying to seize them from the Muslims, that itself is unconstitutional. And let me be very categorical out here. The WAQF that is there in India as it persists, as it's present out here, is always redressed by government nominees within the WAQF board. My point out here is that if you feel so badly about the WAQF, please return all the WAQF properties to their mutawallis. No need to educate by the government.
No, 1 second.
No need
Mr.
to be
Chaudhary,
interference
this
by
is
any
not...
Hindus
no,
into
hang
the
on.
Muslims' WAQF.
Mr. Chaudhary, the question is, I have no problems if you have a problem with the WAQF board. Express yourself in Parliament. Nonetheless, first make your point, Mr. Poonawalla. I just want to quickly bring in...
Let me prove
Yes.
20 seconds why your headline or your top line is actually correct, because these are the people who put Sharia, which is the personal law, above UCC. Or else, Mr. Kamruzaman Chaudhary, please take a position and say, I am for UCC and not for personal law. You apply it in criminal laws, but not in the civil laws.
Absolutely.
Sir, I
We
did not
all
interrupt
strive
you.
for
Sir,
a
you
UCC
asked
law.
for no
Let us counter.
interruptions.
Let us
Sir,
make
you
it an
asked for no
informed debate.
interruptions. Can you give me the
Let
same
us make
courtesy?
it an informed
Thank you.
debate. When you
Thank
brought
you.
in the UCC,
Sir, I have not completed.
I am for the UCC.
Sir, I
but
have not
why
completed. I have not
exclude others
completed.
from the UCC and include
Sir, I have
only
not
the Muslims?
completed. Sir, I have not completed.
Your motive, your
Sir, you have
intention
not
is
allowed me to
vindictive.
complete.
Mr.
This is
Chaudhary.
unfair. This is unfair. First of all, I am not asking you for your personal position. Maybe you don't have you don't want to extend into having somebody who's 17-year-old or 15-year-old as a wife. That's good for you. But I am saying that there is a provision that justifies a 70-year-old marrying a 16-year-old. Do you condemn that? And do you want that position to be taken by the Congress party? Point one. Point two, please let me complete.
Are you in your senses?
Sir, you
Are
have
in
to
your
have
senses?
patience.
Shahzad, what are you
Can you
speaking?
please allow me to complete,
70-year
sir?
married a 16-year-old.
Mr.
Sir, can you
Chaudhary.
please allow me to
Examples that
complete?
this
Can you
Mr.
please
Chaudhary,
allow me to complete?
allow somebody else.
Why?
Can you
one
please
interrupt me.
allow-
Why are you getting so triggered by the facts? Lower his
This is
fader.
the
I'm
please
not
allow
going
me
to
to
allow this
complete.
crosstalk, please. Yes.
Secondly, Mr. Kamruzaman Chaudhary, the question is that if you are for Samvidhan, calling for Shaheen Bagh style protests, calling for civil war.
Civil war.
Is it Samvidhan? Is it the way of Parliament? Or is it the way of anarchy and Jinnah?
Well, quick response, Mr. Chaudhary. Shaheen Bagh style, civil war. Tell me.
No, basically, you see, even I was a part of the delegation that deposed before the JPC while it was in Calcutta. We placed number of points. We discussed clause by clause and we placed our objection to it. And when the bill was presented in the parliament, none of these clauses were
One
taken
second.
up. Listen,
Viewers, just a minute. Just a minute. The problem is, I'll tell you what the problem is here, viewers. An attempt is being made to question the legitimacy of the exercise, despite the fact that everyone has gone there and deposed. That's the problem. The problem is not, viewers, with the bill. This is a way of attacking the process so that you delegitimize the bill entirely. They are not going to look at the bill clause by clause, because clause by clause, in fact, the bill doesn't even add up. Let me tell you, viewers, and I want to bring in two people now to open this up. To 1 second, Mr. Pasha. I want to first bring in Vishnu Shankar Jain. Vishnu Shankar Jain, the apprehension is that people like you are championing the WAQF Amendment Bill, a legislation that they are accusing you, the opposition and others are accusing you of being anti-Muslim. How do you react to this?
See, first of all, I must tell you that we are championing a law which is in consonance with the provisions of the Constitution. Now, please understand that as per the present amendment bill, there are very draconian provisions which have still been left unamended from this legislative exercise. For example, that the word which is used under section 6, which is person aggrieved, it has very wide ramifications as per the judgments of the Supreme Court. And the initial law was of person interested, which was amended by the Congress government in 2013 to overcome two judgments of the Honorable Supreme Court. So person aggrieved, which is a very vast power which is given to the WAQF board under section 6, has to be amended to person interested, which has not been done in this legislative exercise. Section 8, Rahul, which says that the money of this survey will be borne by the expenses of from the state exchequer, which is in direct contravention to Article 27, where the mandate of the Constitution is that the state government will not promote any religion from taxpayers' money, has also not been amended. Then apart from that, Rahul, the most shocking section is section 28, wherein it has been directed to the district administration to abide by the orders of the WAQF board. That also has been unamended. So we are championing a law which is in consonance with the provisions of the Constitution, and every law has to follow the provisions of the Constitution is the mandate. So therefore, there is no question of any Hindu or Muslim divide. The question is to follow the constitutional morality. The question is to follow the principles of equality. The question is to follow the principles of right to religion. The question is to follow the mandate of Article 27 of the Constitution of India.
In fact, what you seem to be suggesting is that this bill is actually not going far enough. So far from being an assault on Muslim rights, it is actually continuing to give allowances to one community. But that apart, I want to bring in Dr. Ranganathan. I'm really sorry, Dr. Ranganathan, I've had to keep you waiting, because sometimes the situation even overwhelms me. I'm shocked tonight at the apologists sitting across from me who are very happy in sharing the stage with communal organizations such as the AIMPLB. And I have to ask you, why is the so-called secular liberal ecosystem silent when the India bloc has publicly joined hands with a sectarian and communal organization? What's going on here?
I'll explain that, Rahul, but I request that the first 20 seconds not be taken from the allotted time that you have given me, because I'm just shocked here. Good evening to my fellow panelists, by the way, that in the time of Ramzan, you have Professor Pasha lying so blatantly. One is not supposed to do that. He says there is no such thing as nikah halala. Does he even know who Miss Sabina Begum is? She is the one who approached the Supreme Court asking nikah halala to be struck off, saying that section 2 of the Muslim personal law Sharia application is one that is blatantly allowing nikah halala. Supreme Court has set up a constitutional bench to look into this matter. It's been 6 years. What is he talking about? It is rife. So please, let's get the facts right. Now, let me come to this. You know, the supreme irony is that the Muslims are up in arms saying that, oh, we are being discriminated against and all hell is going to break loose. This entire imbroglio is testing severely the patience of 1 billion Hindus. Rahul, just like you, I get a terrible sense of deja vu. Remember Shahin Bagh? Disgruntled, hate-filled bigot blocking streets illegally, inconveniencing lakhs of commuters for no rhyme or reason, no logical argument, no rationale, except to display a show of strength. तेरा मेरा रिश्ता क्या, ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह, हिंदुओं से आजादी, काफिरों से आजादी, हम लेकर रहेंगे जिन्ना वाली आजादी, हिंदुत्व की कबर खुदेगी, शहादा रिप्लेसिंग द अशोक चक्रा, children wanting to kill Modi and Shah. If, as these pro-Waqf Islamists are threatening a repeat of Shahin Bagh, I am telling you, I am not going to blame them. I will instead blame Prime Minister Modi and Shah. They failed the first time. And if they fail this time round too, then let us just accept that we are a weak state that capitulates every time in the face of street veto. And for what, Rahul? For a blatant, discriminatory, predatory, supremacist act that has relentlessly usurped 6 lakh acres of land in the last 10 years? To be honest with you, it isn't the RJD or SP or AIMIM or Congress's fault. They want Muslims to vote for them, so they will work for Muslim interests. The issue is the BJP. It wants Hindus to vote for them. So why don't they work for Hindu interests? Why don't they act on what I have been crying hoarse for years, that unjust, discriminatory, draconian acts are not amended. They are abrogated. Do not amend the Waqf Act that has usurped lakhs of acres of government, Hindu and temple land. Abrogated, but to no avail. I think one has to be reconciled with the fact, Rahul, that this government will not abrogate the Waqf Act. At best, and that too, after a prolonged CAA-like struggle, the amended Waqf Act might come into force and acceptance. But an amended Waqf Act is only slightly less draconian than its parent act. So I am resigned to this discrimination continuing. Therefore, this is important, Rahul. The only other logical recourse is for me to ask, me demand such a discriminatory and draconian act being promulgated for Hindus as well, in the form of a Sanatan Act, the exact clause for clause replica of the Waqf Act. Look, I have nothing against the Waqf board, absolutely nothing. Why should anyone? Countless boards, charities, NGOs exist. The problem is the Waqf Act. I repeat, the issue I have with is the act, not the board. Because Rahul, the world over, disputes over property are settled using courts and existing laws that are community and religion agnostic. Why should a particular religious community be armed with another set of laws, those that are patently discriminatory towards member of another community as a primary instrument of defense or indeed of offense? Is there a Hindu equivalent of the Waqf Act? Promulgate one in the interest of equality.
Now
Then
let
10
me address
seconds.
a few questions because I have to tackle both sides, right? Anand, you have to give others also time. Anand, you have to yield now. Anand, you have to yield.
And enjoy the privilege of
Anand, you have to yield. This is unfair.
Okay, 1 second.
Anand, you've been speaking for 6-7 minutes.
Clauses or strictures of Hindus equivalent to the Waqf Act.
Okay.
Anand, you've been speaking for 6.5 minutes. I did not interrupt you once, and I'm going to ask you a few specific questions. Yes, Anand, now you are interrupting and behaving exactly like Kamru.
Okay.
Ironically, you are behaving exactly like Kamru. So please don't do that. Now let me ask you a few questions. Please, Anand,
ask the question. Ask the question. Let's ask
Anand,
the
are you
question.
intolerant towards my questions? Are you scared of them? Are you scared or are you intolerant or are you both? So you have to listen now. Thank you. No, yeah. And Anand, I hope you will answer them. Anand, I hope you will answer these questions rather than derail the debate. Anand, you have...
Okay, gentlemen, let me just step in here. One second.
Rahul, please let me have an opportunity. I am in the minority. You have to give me a fair chance. Thank you.
Let's get
now,
back.
Please, Anand.
I understand what you're saying.
Anand,
I understand. Your point has been
me...
taken, Doctor. Yeah.
Anand, in yes or no, Anand, in yes or no, without getting perturbed. I've never seen you so perturbed on TV, Anand. Don't get so perturbed.
Why are you? Look, you are already removed.
But he's spoken for 6 minutes.
You have accused him
Otherwise,
of being...
Rahul, why did you need me for this monologue?
But 1 second.
Rahul, you can have this monologue without me. Now let me have my say.
I am bringing him in.
Yes, now let me have my say.
Yes.
Anand, without getting into long answers, yes or no questions only, all right? Which you like to do with the other panelists. Has Article 370 been completely abrogated, yes or no?
Well, abrogation.
No. Yes or no? Anand, don't do this. You've done this plenty times with the other panelists. Answer in yes or no. Are you incompetent? Are you incompetent to answer in yes or no? Just answer yes or no. Yes or no? Has it been completely abrogated? Yes or no?
Let him respond.
No, it's a yes or no question. Rahul, it's my time. No, Rahul, this is patently unfair. If you are allowing this, Rahul, it is my time. You would allow Anand to do this with other panelists. You should allow me to do it also. Thank you. Anand, has the Article 370
No,
been...
the wrong question.
Anand, are you courageous enough to take some questions? Yes or
Okay,
no?
play along.
Please, thank
Take
you.
the questions.
Has
Yeah.
Article 370 been completely abrogated? Yes or no? It's a simple question.
No, no.
Correct. Now please hold on. Please hold on. Please hold on. Please hold on. When you yourself acknowledge that Article 370 has been made ineffective by the instrument of Article 370, how are you denying that the same thing won't be done with the Act which has not even come to Parliament? Today we have a JPC report, which by the way, we don't know has been accepted fully or partially. One second, fully or partially. We don't know which law will be taken up by Parliament, but yet here you are pronouncing your judgment like you do. I don't mind that. One second, I don't mind that. This is the way Anand has shown the way that you should oppose something you don't like. The other way is the Kamru Zaman way, where he wants to go on the street and threaten violence. I would accept Anand's way and I would hammer it out in a discussion. Even though Anand is wrong, I don't mind that.
Okay,
but Kamru
fine.
Zaman Chaudhary, your ways are wrong.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. Just one second.
Can I rebut that?
Yes, Doctor, 1 second. Just 1 minute. Look, gentlemen, I don't have all the time. It's half past the hour. I need to also go to another debate. The fact is, I don't want this to become a debate fundamentally about the I's and the T's of this particular act. That was never the intention. Despite all your enthusiasm for going into the letter and the spirit of this particular law. No, viewers, this is not about that. This is a different point of inflection and a point that Dr. Ranganathan did bring up in the beginning, which is, viewers, he sees a deja vu and a dangerous one. At least, viewers, in the Shahin Bagh initial stages, the opposition had at least decided to keep a distance. Here, viewers, the obscurantists have been absolutely mainstreamed. This is where I am worried. This is what is worrying me, because God alone knows what hell will break loose post the 1st of April. Be prepared, viewers. I need to move on. And Doctor, I'm sorry, but I just need to move on. I'm terribly sorry about this, but I didn't really want to get into the letter and spirit of the WAQF Act.